Hey everybody, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Anyways, I've been wanting to make a platform for just like a platform, with new friends and just I figured like we can come here, vibe with each other, talk about, day-to-day things, maybe, you know, just relationship problems, friends problems, family problems, anything that you may be having in your life or whatever. I've been wanting to do this for a minute now, and I always, get busy one thing or another with work or whatever, and I never end up getting to it. So I decided, it's a Sunday, whatever. Might as well get on here and see how it goes. And I'm still like I still don't know how to use this platform that good, like on doing, I don't know, just like making content and everything. I usually, just post like on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And honestly, I haven't really even been active on those platforms lately. I just had been working so much. I was like filling in for another person, and I got really busy. And anyways, long story short, like I was saying, yeah, so I have been wanting to do this for a minute now. So yeah, if you're, if you're a girl's girl, and if you want to come on here and you know just talk about anything, I would be glad to talk with you guys about anything, and I will be inviting guests up here to talk with me, and we can talk about anything, just like anything in general, um anything that would be on your mind, baby daddy issues, in-laws issues or whatever, whatever, problems you may be having at work, um I know I myself, there's a coworker that I've been like having issues with, and man, she's been like making things difficult at work, because like I have to work with her every day, and um she like always makes these little snarky comments, like them people that are like passive aggressive. They like pretend like they're your friends and like throw some shade, but then immediately after try to like say something nice, and it's like they like sneak past the disc through that, and you're just like, ugh, but anyways, she's been like really, ugh, getting under my skin, especially these past couple weeks. Just like, she does something every single day, and then like, I try to just like not let it get to me, but she does it and does it more and more, and like the more she does it, the more I get mad, and like she's much older than me, and so when she starts being a jerk, with her little dumb little comments, the only thing that I can like really come at her with is like that I can like think of the top of my head that would like bother her. I just like try to like be rude to her, and like either say something like about her age or whatever without being obvious. Like I'm not gonna just go and call her an old, be out of the blue, and be rude like that. But I'll just say like I don't know, I'll just like say something random, just to like whatever. I'll just be like, oh yeah, like me and my girls are gonna go out tonight or whatever, and yeah, I'm just like thinking about what I'm gonna wear or whatever. And like I'll even like show her some pictures and stuff and be like, oh, this is us last week or whatever. And like she just gives me a look, like yeah, whatever. And then another thing that I know that she's going through is like her man or whatever, her significant other. She's like been dating him for like years. But they've been separated for like the past 5 years. And it's weird because like I don't even think she's really married, but whatever, Um she's always like talking about him, and stuff, but yet they don't like live together. And every time she she hears about him like talking to someone or whatever, she goes all crazy and she's like, oh my god, I think he's like cheating on me or whatever, and I'm like, wow, you guys aren't together basically, and like he's got to be getting it somewhere, but I don't know, maybe she's maybe it's not serious. Maybe it's just, maybe he just needs some. It's nothing serious. And like she gets all in her feelings. She's like, "Oh, don't say that. Oh my God, you think?" And then she starts thinking about it, And then another thing is like he didn't want to marry her, or whatever. Like, she told me that she was married, but that they weren't, like, they didn't have a wedding, that it was just like through the courts. And to be honest with you, I don't even believe that, but whatever, to each his own. And she'll say, "Oh yeah, I just wish you would have wanted, to have like a nice wedding. I would have loved that," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'll just be like, "Oh, because like, yeah, I'm divorced, but like we did have like a decent little ceremony and everything, and like my ex-husband did buy me a wedding dress, and like, everything. It was nice. Like, I went shopping for it and everything, and like he paid for it, and it was like a nice little thing. But like, we like randomly talk about that or whatever, and I don't know, she just like says little things, she'll be like a jerk to me at work, and like just like she's just always doing things to like be rude to me. So when she's like being rude, then I'll just be like, "Oh well, that sucks, that she don't want to marry you or whatever, And then the other day I told her this because she was being just a big old a-hole to me the whole day. Like she was just like, oh, she was like on my last nerve. So I had to tell her something, like I was like, "Hey, what did I say to her?" I was like, how was it? Oh, I told her this. I was like, "Oh, they say that when a man doesn't want to marry you, it's crazy because they say, oh, some people say that you shouldn't push the issue, that you should just, wait and be patient." And then I told her this. I was like, "But what's crazy is that they'll sit there and say that they can't marry you because of whatever, they'll give you all these excuses. But then yet again, they'll go and marry the next girl, like out of the blue, like, they'll just like, you'll be done with them or whatever. And then the next thing you know, it's like they're married and they're doing all these things for that other girl that they did not do for you." I'm like, "Isn't that crazy?" And like, I'll even tell her about like another friend that I have that this happened to. And my other friend I actually do care about. Like her and I have like a long, we've had a long friendship. And I felt horrible when she went through that, because her baby daddy used to always put her through hell. And like, when she was pregnant, he made her life miserable, to go as far as like, stranding her in the middle of nowhere without her shoes while she was pregnant. And like, I don't know, like she went through a lot with him, and like he would constantly cheat on her and stuff. And then she would always take him back. And like I used to get so mad at her because I'm like, "Why do you take him back? Like, why?" And then guess what he did? He went and got himself another girlfriend, and he actually moved in with that girl and took her all serious and stuff. And then it came to the point where my friend was like all crying and stuff, and I would tell her like, "You need to forget about him. Like he's no good. You need to move on." And like she'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna move on," or whatever. But then again, like we would go out or something, and then she would be like constantly looking at her phone, and she'd be like, "Oh my God, I gotta get home because he can't know that I went out." And I'm like, he has a girlfriend that he lives with. She's like, "But you don't know how he is. He'll get super jealous." And then when I really had it was like one day when I showed up at her house or whatever, and she told me that or he had put hands on her. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Oh hell no! Like how dare? Hey Texas, hey girl." And I was so mad that he would do that to her. Like how dare him? But yeah, my friend was just like gullible. Like I couldn't believe that she would even allow that. But and to be honest with you, like I haven't really talked to her recently, but I just like she wasn't listening. Like she kept doing the same thing and doing the same thing, and it's like, how are you gonna stay faithful to this guy when he's cheating on you? And we're not even cheating on you. He's not even your man. But whatever. Um. Anyways, so like I was saying, yeah, I would love to make this platform so you know um so us girls can come on here and talk about whatever, anything at all, anything that you're going through. Like as I was saying, I'm just dealing with this chick at work, and she gets on my nerves or whatever. But I got to see her every day, and pretend I like her, give her the fake hi in the morning, and and like, hey girl, but she gets on my nerves, especially because she's so rude. But what was I gonna say? I don't know. I don't really know much to talk about. Like I would love to have more people come on here and have like actually a topic to talk about, and then I can like learn how to use this whole platform and stuff, and like come on screen and all that. My hair's a mess right now, but I'll definitely get ready for the next one. And honestly, I wouldn't even care if you guys saw me like this. My hair is just I don't know. I just put it down. I had it in the clip all day, and now it's all down and it's all crappy. But hey, so girls channel. We'll just talk about anything, and you guys can tell me about your bad hair day. Love for love. What else can I tell you guys? What else? I don't know. I'm a girl. I'm a friend, and I'm a Scorpio. I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. They're not little babies, but they're older. So what else can I tell you? I don't know. I'm single, and I'll tell you guys what happened to me. My ex-husband, I've been married twice, okay? And my first marriage was to my son's dad. His name's Dominic, and my son's name is Dominic too. I was married to him, and oh my God, that guy did me so dirty. So what had happened, we were married for a long time, and he put me through hell. Like, he went to jail on me many times. He cheated on me so many times, and I never cheated on him. I think I was just young and dumb and never thought about cheating. Thank you, Texas. You're so sweet, and you're always welcome here. I love you. Anyway, so I was saying, yeah, he cheated on me and did me dirty, and I kept like taking him back. You know why? Because I was like, oh, he's my baby's dad. Like, I always thought, like, I always wanted my son to have his dad around, because like I was like, oh, I want him to be there, and whatever, and my son to have his dad. And so that's why I kept taking him back and kept wanting things to work out between us. But they never would. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, he would always do something. But the last straw was this. He nearly killed me. Like, he really nearly unalived me. So, I took him back after he went to jail many times. But the last time he had cheated on me, and like, we hadn't talked for like almost 2 years. But he went to jail, and I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. Seriously. I wrote him a letter in jail, and I was like, hey, how you been? I don't know why I did that. Stupid me, honestly. What the fuck was I thinking? But he wrote me back. Of course he did. He was quick. He's like, oh my God, I love you. I miss you guys. Blah, blah, blah. Even though he hadn't even reached out for our son the whole time. He was being a douchebag. But of course, I was like, I just thought about having him in my life, and our son, having his dad back and blah, blah, blah. So he was about to get out of jail. So there I go, being, Captain Saber with my big old cape on, all tight and all. There I go, taking him back like a douche. And he got out of jail, and, I picked him up, whatever. We started, whatever, hanging out and everything. Things were going well. He was in a halfway house, so it's not like he could be, at home with me or whatever, but I was picking him up all the time and taking him for his little job searches and all that crap. So, anyways, so the girl that he had cheated on, and then check this out, the girl that he cheated on me with, you know who it was? It was my sister-in-law. Not from my side, but from his side. He was hooking up with his brother's freaking girl. And not even his girl. Okay, my brother-in-law, his name's Henry, and that's his brother or whatever. And Henry has a kid by this chick named Amy. Amy, was like his baby's mom, but they were like both doing, fucking drugs together or whatever. So Amy went to rehab, but Amy had a freaking sister, and the sister's name is Amber. I don't even care. I'll air it all out. So Amber came in the picture. Amber was a big old crackhead. For real. Like, for real, she used to always, like, when him and I were still together, Amber would always constantly ask me for rights and stuff, and I would give her rights. And to be honest with you, Dominic and I would, like, make fun of her because, like, honestly, she looks kind of off. So Dominic would, like, be like, she looks kind of, like she's like not all there, huh? And like I'd be like, oh, be nice, because like, but honestly, like we were kind of clowning. I was like, whatever, but I was still nice to her. I would give her rights because she was she was a sister of Henry's baby's mom or whatever. But check this out. So she started hooking up with Henry. When her sister went to freaking rehab, she started being with Henry. So I was like, what the hell? Like, are you serious? And Henry was like, don't say nothing, please, because I wouldn't want Amy to find out. She's doing good. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, I was just disgusted, Like, I didn't even want to help her out on, like, giving her any rights anymore because I was like, how dare you? Like, you're really going to do that to your sister? Like, you're freaking disgusting. But anyways, long story short, when I found out that my baby's dad was cheating on me, Henry went to jail. So guess what? Freaking, I found out when I seen my baby's daddy driving her car to me, because like she had got in a car later on down the road. And I was like, I seen him. I honestly didn't think nothing of it. I was like, oh, he's driving Amber's car to drive by my house and stalk me. That's like the thing that came to mind. I never in a million years would have thought that he was hooking up with her. But I was like, when I found out that they were hooking up, honestly, like I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what? I still can't believe it, honestly. So I took him back after that. Why? Don't ask me, because I honestly wouldn't even know what to tell you. I was stupid. I was dumb. I don't know what the hell went wrong with me. Honestly, I was probably just thirsty for love. Or, because come on now, like, you can't be that dumb. But apparently, Abday's dumb, So here we go. I took him back, and I get so angry when I talk about it because he pisses me off. So I took him back, and then he dumped her or whatever, And when me and him got back together or whatever thing, like I said, he got out of jail. Him and I were good, blah, blah, blah. So one night, he calls me and he's like, hey, can you come pick me up or whatever? And I told him, I was like, well, what do you, don't you have to be at the halfway house? Like, what do you mean go pick you up? He's like, oh, no, they're going to give me a pass to spend the night with you. I was like, what? Like, how you going to do that? He's like, oh, I have a homie and, owns his business or whatever. And basically he's going to say that I'm working with him for the whole night. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I guess, whatever. Whatever, cool, whatever. So there I go, went and picked him up. Oh, I go and pick him up. So we're driving back or whatever. He decides, because look, with one thing about me, I hate driving. I've always had a car since I was like super young, but I hate driving. So I've always like, if I have a friend, a homegirl, or if I have a man at the time, I always have them drive my car. I hate driving. I just hate it. I drive because I have to, but I absolutely hate it. If I could be a passenger, I'd rather be a passenger. And it's funny because all my friends are like, you really want us to drive? I'm like, yeah, just please drive my car. Like, I hate driving. So I would always ask him to drive. And so he was driving or whatever. One of his homies from the halfway house gets next to him. And he's like, hey, you should freaking, we should race. And I was like, what are you going to do, race? He's like, come on. He's like, we could smoke this guy. Come on, I just want to show him that, that car has power. And I was like looking at him sideways, especially because our son was in the back seat. So I was like, oh, I don't know, Next thing I know, he just takes off. He's going super fast. We flip over 4 times. The car lands on top of me. I got ejected from the car. I don't even know how. But the car lands on me. We flipped over 4 times. The car lands on me. I ended up with a broken everything. Like, I couldn't even believe my spine was broken. My pelvis was broken. I had road rash all over me. Like, I was just bleeding everywhere. I couldn't even move. So him and this other guy that he was racing ended up getting the car off of me. And he's telling me, he's like, you know what? Like, the only thing that came from out of my mouth was like, where's Dominic? Little Dominic. Because I swear to God, guys, I thought he was dead. I honestly thought he was gone. Because he was like only 3. He was so little. So as soon as he was like, he's right there. And like, I seen him walk like around me. That's when I just blacked out. I wake up in the hospital. And like, when I wake up in the hospital, I literally hear the nurses talking to somebody. And they're telling one of my family members we're sorry, but she's not going to make it through the night. Like, we're really sorry, but, you know, you might want to call the rest of her family because she's not going to make it. And I'm like, am I listening to this? Like, are they really just saying this in front of me? And I was like, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, they said that I wasn't going to make it. And I was like, oh my God. So the next thing I know is the freaking nurse comes up to me and she's like trying to, you know, tranquilize me or whatever, because I'm like going crazy. I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know, I'm going crazy. And they're sticking all these tubes on me. And next thing I know, I pass out. When I wake up again, they tell me that, you know, I have pneumonia and that I need an emergency surgery, but they can't do it because until the pneumonia clears or whatever, because I might not make it. And I'm like, what do you mean? You know, like I was freaking out, you know. And then when all this happened, right, guess where my baby's dad was? Nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to him. Not that I wanted something to happen to him, but come on now, like nothing. Come on, he was the one racing and nothing happened to him. Like, what a douchebag. Well, I was just glad that nothing happened to our son. He only had only his ear was like hanging off. I know that's like bad, but luckily they just like stitched it back up. It was like from the back of his ear, and he was good. That was the only thing that I cared about. I didn't care if I was like messed up, you know. I just wanted my son to be okay. But when I wake up or whatever, after I was in critical condition, when I woke back again, it was 21 days later, because I had been in a coma or whatever. I did die for 6 minutes, they said. So luckily, you know, I did end up surviving. But when I wake up, I'm like, because Dominic came to visit, and then I couldn't even talk, girl. They had me on these tubes. And so when I wake up, I can't talk. I'm like, what the hell? So they give me this paper, right? And I'm like writing stuff down. And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell's wrong with me. But I'm like, where's Dom? You know, speaking about my baby dad, I was like, where's Dom? And they're like, we don't want to tell you. But honestly, he hasn't really been coming over here. I'm like, he hasn't? Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't even know why I cared, but I started like crying, you know, because I was like, he hasn't even come to visit me. Like, are you guys kidding me? So after a few days, after like I was like not in such danger, my sister hugged me and she's like, we don't want to tell you everything, but honestly, he got back with Amber. I'm like, no way. They're like, yes, please don't get on you know, on Facebook because you're going to see them together. And like, honestly, I was just in shock. I was devastated. So I get released from the hospital after like, you know, being there for so long, after months or whatever. And I get released in a wheelchair. I couldn't even walk, you know. It was sad. And like my baby's dad literally left me, you know, when I was dying in a wheelchair, everything. I had to learn how to walk again, you know, like everything. But even the doctors, honestly, they didn't even think that I was going to be walking again. So honestly, like I was so mad. And like one thing about us Scorpios is that we gotta, you know, we always get back up. So I was so mad. I let that anger get me back up, and I was like, oh, he's got to see me back up. He's got to see me good so he can regret it. I don't know, stupid mindset, you know. But that got me going, and I was like, my son was good. And you know, especially when my mom told me that he didn't even want to eat, you know. And like I said, I have 2 sons, but my other son was with his dad. So, and he hadn't even known about the accident. I didn't want him to know until like later, you know. And he was like, he's a little older than Dominic. So of course it wasn't like, I wasn't as worried because I knew that he was straight, and Dominic was with my mom. So of course I knew little Dominic was fine. And when my mom told me that Dominic didn't want to eat, you know, that he was all sad because he thought his mommy died, I was just like, thank you, Texas, you're awesome. And honestly, I was just like, you know what? I gotta do this. I gotta get back up. So I started doing my physical therapy because at first I didn't even want to do anything. I was just devastated. And I wasn't even taking my pain pills. That's how sad I was, you know? And I was in so much pain. And one of my homegirls was like, well, why are you in so much pain? She's like, didn't they give you pain meds? I'm like, yeah, dude, but I don't even want those. Like, I don't care about those. Like, Dominic walked out on me. Like, how dare him, you know? And she's like, I know you're sad, Abdi, but just take the pain meds. They'll take your pain away and you can focus on getting yourself back up. Like, fuck Dominic, you know, worry about you and Dom and, you know, and Dion. You got to worry about you. And I was like, yeah, you guys are right, whatever, So um that's how my addiction started, And yes, I'll be blunt with you guys, I'll be honest. I fought an addiction with pain pills, and it was due to my accident, because they were giving me so many pain pills. I'm not even kidding you. There was times that I would go to the doctor, and honestly, I still had, because they gave me so many pain pills when I got out of the hospital. It was way too many. Like, I couldn't even believe all the bottles I had. And every time I would go in for just like a checkup or whatever from my bandages or whatever, they would ask me like, "You got pain meds? You need pain meds? You got more? You need more? You want more?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I still have some." And after a while, like, I started taking them, and yeah, they started feeling me better, and I was like way more relaxed. And I got back on my feet and everything. The good thing about it, not that I'm saying not ever being an addict is a good thing, was that I was a functioning addict. That's why, like, nobody knew, because I still functioned. Like, I still went to work every day. I still did what I needed to do. I was still doing the mommy thing, and I was doing good. Like, I took care of my kids. I did everything. I picked them up from school. I did everything. They never would have thought that I was an addict. Never. Like, I was an undercover addict, and it was not like towards the end, when like I was having trouble like flying, because I like when my doctor cut me off, because he was like, "Oh no, I'm not." When they found out, like, the doctor ended up finding out, like, I was hooked because I was running out of my pain meds, pain pits. Oh my God, see, I'm all tongue twisted. Way before I was supposed to. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then first he put me on like on a pain management contract where I had to sign a thing saying that those 270 pills were supposed to last me like a month, and I was supposed to take a pill like every four hours. I think it was. It's supposed to be 5 hours, but he said 4 was fine if I really was, because I had broke my spine and my pelvis. I had all these freaking. I had 5 surgeries altogether in my spine because one of my screws wasn't staying in place. And now I have that ugly scar back there, and I hate it. I want to get a tattoo over it. But like, I don't know. All I thought about at that point is like, I gotta get back, and I wanted to wear heels. I don't know why, but I was like, I gotta, get some heels, and I gotta do this. So when I got all good and together, whatever, I went to go visit my doctor. I thanked him, and honestly, you couldn't believe it. He was like, "Oh my God," he's like, "You look like nothing ever happened to you." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm like tied out to the scars and the patch of hair I'm growing back, because at first they shaved a side of my head, where, because I had like a big cut on the back on the side of my head, and like they had to stitch me up right there too, and they shaved that part. I was so mad that they had shaved it, because I was like, "What the hell?" Laugh out loud. But yeah, and then they had to do some skin grafts they got some skin from like my elbow and stuff for my left butt cheek. I was so mad, because I was like, "Ew, my butt's gonna look ugly," and I know, stupid. I sounded so dumb, And I remember my mom was like, "I'll donate some skin, if she doesn't want, more skin." And the doctor was like, "Oh no, it's better if it's her own skin." And I was like, "Oh damn, that sucks," because I didn't want to like be all scarred up or whatever. And what's crazy is like now you can't even tell. Yeah, my butt still looks weird, when I'm naked. Like, I don't like my butt, because like you could still tell that my left butt cheek has like some, foreign skin from another part of the body. I don't know, it just looks funny to me, anyways. Um, no, I haven't seen Halo's brace. A Halo brace? No, I haven't seen it. But what was I gonna say? Um, they I was just they like had all. You should see the screws that they took, because like forever I couldn't have those screws removed. It took like a minute before they could remove those screws. Like 2 years before they told me that it was okay to remove the screws, because honestly my back felt so heavy. And the screws that they removed, because I asked if I could keep them. I don't know why, but I was like, "Can I keep them?" And they were like, "Well, I guess, weirdo, whatever." So they gave them to me. And when I seen how big they were, like, honestly, girl, they were like as big as pencils, like the number 2 pencils or whatever. They were big. And I was like, "God damn, like, what the hell? No wonder I was in so much pain." So they took those off. And you know what? Oh my God. When I would go to an airport, it was crazy. They made such a big deal every time I'd go to an airport. I honestly was like, damn, like they would take me to the back and everything. And I'm like, what do they think? I'm freaking carrying kilos in my back? Like, come on now. But honestly, it was funny. Like just like my back would light up all yellow in the screen and they would freak out. And I would explain to them, but honestly, they were just like, oh, we just got to double check, whatever. I hated traveling at that point. Now it just shows, that my back is clear or whatever. Yeah, I have that ugly scar, but I don't have the hardware back there no more. So anyways, long story short, my baby dad is a douche bucket, and yeah, he cheated on me. And then guess what? Like he ends up going to jail again, and guess who he effing calls? Yeah, he calls me. The freaking audacity to call me. But you know what? I answered. I had to answer because I wanted to see what the hell he was gonna say. I just wanted to know what he would say. And he was like, oh, what are you doing? And blah, blah, blah. And I remember at that time I was all excited because I was getting ready to go to a Drake concert. And I was all hyped up about it or whatever. And I told him, and I was like, yeah, I'm getting ready to go see Drake, blah, blah, blah. And I remember he was like, what do you mean? He's like, you better chill out. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, why are you talking about Drake? Like, you're getting all freaking horny over him or whatever. I was like, what do you mean, bro? Like, I can get horny over him if I want to. Like, I got no man. What you talking about? Like, he tried to come back in my life and act like, come on now. Like, are you serious? Like, how dare you? Like, come on now. If I want to freaking do whatever and go hump him, like, I would. I mean, I'm not saying he would interested or whatever, but I'm saying if he wanted to, I better believe I'd be right there. Upload. But anyways, yeah. What else was I gonna say? I don't know. God, I'm running out of breath like a freaking I just ran a marathon. See, I'm all here talking all excited like I'm a free cake. I'm funny, you guys. Okay, I just like to say a bunch of funny shit. I don't know. I like to be funny. I tend to make fun of myself when I'm nervous. I don't know, but yeah, he's a douchebag. He did me dirty, and then I didn't take him back. I didn't. Thank God. I just wanted to feel that, get my mojo back because I felt like he had taken some little bit of mojo out of me when he left me. So I was just like trying to get a piece of it back. I was like, come on, fool, like give that little mojo back. So yeah, so I was just like, you know what, whatever. It's all good, whatever, But the only thing that sucked is that after him and I, all that crap went down, he stopped seeing our son. He didn't care. He wouldn't be there for my son unless we were together. Other than that, he didn't care for our son. And that hurt me a lot. But I didn't try to make a big deal out of it. But after the accident happened and all that and whatever, oh my God, you guys, my son, we were driving and my son's sitting in the back seat and he's like, Mommy. And I'm like, I have the music on, whatever. He's like, turn it down. He's like, I want to ask you something. And I'm like, well, honey, what's going on, And he's like, Mommy, he's like, when are you going to buy me a new daddy? And I was like, oh, hell no, that freaking hurt. Because I was like, what do you say to that, that was just, it was hard. It was really hard to hear him say that. And especially because I was like, honey, we can't go to the store and purchase a new one or else, trust me, I would have gone a long time ago. They just don't make them at the store or else I wouldn't have gotten a defected one, But, I don't know, throughout time, it just, I ended up getting another relationship with the guy that was like, oh my God, that guy was super good to me. He was so good to me. And he treated my son like his. He treated both of my kids like his. He taught my son how to swim. And he used to do homework with both of them. He was amazing. You know what I mean? We ended up breaking up over some dumb crap, and he was the one that got away, if I'm honest with you guys. And to this day today, I still have mad love for him, but it's whatever. I'm not gonna try to go get him back or whatever. It's just whatever. but I'm hard-headed and I'm stubborn, and I'm so weird, like honestly, like the thing in my relationships always, guys always tell me like, why don't you ever hit me up? Why don't you ever call me? Why don't you ever text me? And like I'm old school. I don't know why, but I'm old school. Like I feel like the guy's supposed to text you, the guy's supposed to call you. So even if I'm dying to talk to the guy, and I'm sitting there stalking his Facebook or his Instagram, I still won't call him. He'll never know. He will never know that I was just driving by his house. I felt loud. You know what I mean? Like I'm like super low key about that. And like honestly, I've had, several guys that I've dated tell me that, after we break up or whatever, they're like, you never show you care. You never, guys want to feel love too. Like it's not all about me and blah blah. And like I still don't change. I don't know why. Like I don't know why it's like in my brain to do that. You know why? I think it's because I've been hurt. So I'm super scared to get hurt again. So my thing is like I will not give you satisfaction to reject me. I'd rather, reject myself. Like I'm out here. I'm just chilling. I might be waiting for you, but you'll never know. If you want to come around, I'll welcome you with open arms, but I'm not going to go seek for you. I don't know. I'm just weird like that. I don't know why. And you know why? I think it's like, and then my mom too, because like every time in the past when I told my mom about, certain situation with the guy, I'll be like, should I call him, Mom? Should I text him? No, you don't do that. Like, no, you're a girl. He's supposed to, if he misses you, he'll make it be known. And I'm like, Mom, but other girls, do it. It's like not, it's like a new era. Girls are, reaching out to men now. It's a different time. She's old school too. She's like, no, I don't think you should do that. It's not right. So I don't know. Honestly, it hasn't really worked great in my favor because like right now I'm single. But the thing is, I also takes me so long to get over somebody. Like I'm not like I have a homegirl that, for example, like every single time that I see her, she has a new man. And like honestly, I'm like, how do you do it? Like, you know what I mean? Because like I see her with the guy, and then like 2 months later, she has a new dude, and like she's all in love. And I'm like, damn, I wish I could move on as quick as you. Like for real. Maybe I wouldn't be sad, but me, if I fall in love with a guy, I'll be in love with him for a few years. It'll take a few years for me to get over it. So I love so deep, like honestly, it takes me forever to get over it. I think that's why I kept giving my baby dad chances, because I was still stuck on him until the minute he literally, didn't care about me, left me to die. Because I think about it, I'm like, damn, if I would have passed away that night, he just would have been with Amber, happy, and but it's whatever. Oh, anyways, so when Amy got out of rehab, just to let you guys know what happened with that, I reached out to her just to tell her that her sister was sneaking around with Henry, her baby's dad. And guess what, guys? She never believed me. She said her sister wouldn't do that. And I don't know why I never took a picture, and I don't know. I just never took any evidence of it. But she didn't believe me. And up to this day today, Amy still doesn't believe that her sister ever snuck around with her baby's dad, even though I know she did. I saw them. You know what I mean? But anyways, I guess maybe one day Amber will confess to her. But yeah, that's what happened. And I don't know. Isn't it crazy though, And then like, since Henry, was like really with the sister for real, the other sister, she was just messing around with Amber. She messed around with Amber for a good minute. That's why I was like, I would call her like my sister-in-law or whatever, even though she really wasn't a sister-in-law, her sister was. But it's like, it's crazy because she was out. God, we went on double dates. But it's always the people who you would never think would do you wrong. It's always like, I've learned, honestly, you keep your guard up. You keep your guard up. And after like I read that book, The 48 Laws of Power, and it says always say less than necessary, like don't trust, everybody, like all this other stuff. And like it's like things to learn, like you live and you learn. Because at first I was like overly friendly. I'm overly friendly as it is, but like I learned not to share too much, because I've had friends who later on will try to use that against me. Like I'm the type of person that will help a person out. Like I've had homegirls, that didn't have a car or whatever when I met them, and whatever, and like I helped them out. Like I helped them get a car, I helped them get money, I helped them, I did whatever I could to better their life, you know. I had a homegirl that was trying to get her kids back and everything, and she couldn't because she needed to have a place and, you know, and have a bedroom for them and stuff. I helped her out. I helped her out. I helped her get a place. I did everything I could for her. And I had another homegirl that her baby's dad kicked her out with her two daughters. She had nowhere to go. I took her to live with me. I was like, you know what, you can come stay with me. And she didn't have nothing going on, you know. So I told her, I was like, you know what, if you watch my sons while I'm at work or whatever, you know, like I'll pay you. I'll give you like $80 every day. How does that sound? You know, and she was like, oh, that'll be dope. And I told her, I was like, you don't have to pay no rent, nothing, you know, like I'll you can stay here for as long as you need until you get your shit together. And they always end up doing me wrong. You know, later on, like something goes wrong and they end up talking crap about me, you know, end up saying stuff about me. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I always try to do things, you know, and then they end up doing wrong by me. Like, I always end up getting, I don't know, I think I'm just too nice. Honestly, I've been too nice in the past. And I think that's why people take my kindness for weakness or whatever. But I don't know. I can't change that. Like, I feel like I like being nice. I like helping people out. It's just, I don't know what to call it. Maybe, you know, I'm just a weirdo. But, I don't know. And like, honestly, just like seeing all this stuff that's going on, like especially like with Krishan and stuff, I think about it and I'm like, damn, you know, like she has so many opportunities and stuff. Like, you know, there's people out there that could only wish to have like all the success that she had and do, like, why not do right by that? Like, you know, why not? Like, if I was her, especially after all the backlash or whatever, I would just get my shit together and start taking my son to the doctor, document all that, and win the public back by that, you know, and just do right, you know, maybe switch it around. But she refuses to do that, and that's why, like, I don't like that. I don't like that because I feel like there's so many other people out here that could have had those opportunities that she had, and you know, and like, and honestly, it can't just be us that are looking at her like she's the problem. It's everybody. Only the rock stars, of course, they're obsessed with her, whatever. They'll never see that she does anything wrong. But, you know, us, we see the bigger picture because we're not, you know, we're women. We see everything, how everything goes down and everything. And you know, we weren't born yesterday. So, of course, we just want to be there and hold her accountable, you know, like how, like, come on now. It doesn't take, you know, rocket scientists to know that she was drinking when she was pregnant and everything. And it's just a sad thing. But anyways, like I was saying, like, I just wanted this to make a channel for us or whatever, you know, and to have the girls come up here and, you know, whatever. Hopefully, you know, I could get some more people on here as the time goes by or whatever. But I love you guys or whatever. Thank you, Texas. You've been here and I love you. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me that you listen to my whole, you know, crazy life or whatever. Life a lot. I'm just a crazy chick. But much love, and I'll end it here. Just wanted to say hi to you guys. I gotta go let my cat back in. It's out there. But I love you. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later, and hopefully I'll comb my head for next time, and I'll come on screen or whatever. Much love. Bye.